Hey everybody, welcome once again to our Low on Health Rambling, where we go over the things that happened in 2025. This one's going to be over the life events. So this is going to be over the things that happened personally to us, not our content or anything, but the other stuff that happened or what we did in 2025. Of course, Kai will be joining us. She is just patiently waiting for us to finish recording all these videos so we can go on a walk. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So here we go. 2025. One of the first things we did was after we heard about Liberation Day, and that there being a bunch of tariffs, I wanted to kind of bulk up or make sure to get things that I knew we would want to get to have replaced, like tech stuff, because not necessarily cost, because I was concerned a lot of things wouldn't be available. So even like my smartwatch, which has died a couple times, I wanted, because it's relatively cheap, I wanted to bulk up on that. Our headphones that we use a lot, and these open ear shock ones things that we use all the time are just perfect. Also a backup like iPhone, and it was like iPhone 13, it was like cheap as all. I just wanted to get that as a backup because I didn't know where we're going to be. And of course, now being that much further out, things didn't get as well, but costs have gone up, but availability is still there.
Memory and
we don't
storage.
We'll get into that
expensive,
more next year. In May of 2025, unfortunately, both our grandparents passed.
Grandmas.
Our grandmas passed.
Both of our grandmas
within
died.
like a week of each other.
No, like within days.
Yeah. In which case, as we all know, when usually we have a family member pass, I will typically kind of start to put together some type of tribute. I've done that for Rufus. I did that for my dad, for your grandfather. So, invitation. So for this time around, I did one for my grandma, which I'm going to pull up real quick now. So with my grandmother passing, and because I've done a bunch of these type of videos, I had a lot of information and videos of her from my time doing recordings and stuff, so I wanted to put together like a really big package for her. So one of the first ones I did was this time-lapse of her funeral, in which case she was actually buried in one of these like...
mausoleum towers,
yeah, type things, which is kind of cool. You don't see that much nowadays. This is me setting it up, and then you can see through the course of the day, you can see the clouds go by. As I'm just going to skip around this, you can see him setting up, and this is then doing the service, and then placing her up on the little lift thing. This is the family members. This is me recording another video you guys see in a couple seconds. But it was just kind of cool. Like, I want to do all this for everybody who wasn't able to come out to the service. And this was just a really cool time lapse with her going up and the whole, actually just the logistics of it. And it started
reading.
Yeah. And let me get to the next video. This video is basically a longer version of the time-lapse one where I try to showcase the cemetery. And this is ironically a cemetery where all my grandparents are buried, and one of my great-grandparents is buried in this cemetery.
It's a really pretty cemetery.
This is kind of just me just going over it. This is the service that they did for her. Let me see if I got the other videos of, as I jump around here. I think I got a video of the procession showing up somewhere. Yeah, there it is. This was them with the hearse and the family member showing up to the cemetery because I got there early to set up all the video cameras and stuff. Video cameras being just 2 iPhones. That's my aunts and my mother and everybody, and my sister and my nephew. But in case anybody wasn't able to come out to the service, I recorded it, and I can share this link. This also shows not the time lapse, but the different angle of her being put up, being wrapped in tarp and all that stuff, and being placed in there next to her husband, my grandfather. So there's that one. Now this one was the classic montage that I will usually put together when everybody gives me like all the pictures of their loved one from like photo albums and stuff. Like we did this with your grandfather.
Like the memorial video.
This with my father. I was lucky enough to have him narrate over his. But yeah, it just kind of shows the pictures of her life. And then of course, as we had the grandkids and we were being born and everything, and her condo and all the stuff, and all the Mother's Days that we got together and stuff. So I have this one of just being kind of just the picture slideshow of my grandmother, which was just kind of cool to have. Besides the videos of just, of course, like the slideshow of all the pictures, with my grandma, of course, I have recordings of her, like videos and stuff from all the different...
I did that art forever.
So this is from 2013, one of the Mother's Days. We also have a cruise from 1990 that she took with her daughters. which was kind of funny. You guys had some of this footage of them on the cruise ship. I also have the classic, basically families get together for Christmas and grandfather dresses up as Santa Claus. Like I had that old home video and she was in that, and I had shared that for my cousins and all the family members to see. That classic. And then ironically back in 2017, my mother and grandmother came to the place I was working at Anime Nation because I had set up a podcast studio. So I actually did a Mother's Day podcast with them, just talking about technology and talking about the world and whatnot. And I wanted to upload that too, which was almost like 30 minutes. And that was just kind of... In June of 2025, we actually had a tornado come through Pinellas County where we live. And ironically, this tornado, that's the path of it, cut a path right from like where my warehouse is, almost a little bit to where we almost live.
Practically our backyard.
And a lot of the 55 plus cities around us that was in that path got hit, and there was debris like everywhere. Like even in our neighborhood.
There was debris in our backyard from it.
Like
yeah,
from like the roof and the sheet metal and everything.
Pretty crazy.
It actually did knock out the IT center for like my warehouse area because it like tore the roof off of it and it became a big issue.
Yeah.
And that's just a concern we kind of have in this area. But luckily we're in a townhouse, so we're a little bit more.
The United States gets more tornadoes than anywhere else in the world, so it's just.
Also, around your birthday of last year, our oven broke. So we had to get a new oven. And this was the oven that came with the place, so we're not too concerned about it.
It wasn't something that we chose. It was just, one of the things was there.
So that was fun.
That was annoying.
Another thing we did last year is the Magic the Gathering. As we mentioned, we used to play Magic the Gathering a bunch. Kind of fell off of it. Didn't have really a reason to play it or look into it. It started to get to be more a collectible thing. And of course, they've been cross-promoting with everything.
They've been pumping out set after set.
So they did the Final Fantasy set, which we were initially like, no, we don't care or whatnot. But then Card Kingdom saw that they were doing like bulk sets of stuff because they were selling all the uncommons and foils. I'm like, oh.
And they were super reasonably priced, and we were like,
let's just jump on this. And this was like the day of, because I knew these things would be gone.
And they were,
and
like,
they were
the
gone
next day, right?
So we bulked up on it, got a bunch of cards, like, over like 2,000 all together, for relatively under $100, which is fine, because, we might do art stuff or projects or whatnot. So that was kind of cool. And that's probably the last Magic stuff we'll ever buy for a very long time. Yeah.
Probably.
In September, I upgraded our displaying of stuff because every now and then something will come up will make us want to do displays and kind of make our place, just add an extra level of
not blank wall.
Yeah.
Like all you plebes have.
This time around, I wanted to kind of mount our books.
Yeah.
To the wall, which I found a really creative way, and a lot of these books are Alan Dean Foster books.
They're from the Pip and Flinks
and
series.
But that was just kind of fun because it's kind of just basically just makes it look like they're just on the wall. Yeah, floating on the wall, which is kind of cool. Did that with like the Lorene's books and Rand's books. I also put up all the model kits all the way across the top now. Once again, not all of these, maybe only 5% of these are actually made, but I just like the artwork and basically now the whole wall is essentially
Gundam boxes.
Yep. We did have visitors. Mako brought their new partner over in September, which was kind of cool.
They got engaged.
Yep. So they came over, which might have been, I'm looking at our board right here. We only had 2 visitors in 2025, in which case it was them and then your parents the next month, which is fine. But that was just kind of an interesting thing. And that also did spur us on to doing the display, getting everything up. And I often make the joke, the only time we clean our place is when we know we're having visitors.
It's the only time we deep clean.
Yeah, deep clean. In October, you updated your tattoos, so your arm tattoos continuing on. So you added on to the bottom of it with the bird, the flowers, and the such. So that's continuing on. In November, I decided to get rid of Spectrum and look at my other internet options, and that prompted me to get Amazon to do stuff, and that made me go down this long list of buying stuff, trying stuff out. I ended up drilling holes through our floor to the ceiling to run some cords and stuff.
To the internet cord.
Trying a bunch of different, wireless internet things, external stuff. I also started, because I just was on an Amazon tear, I finally built these, display windows. How would you frame them?
Artificial windows?
Yeah, artificial windows with actual window frames and curtains and stuff. because that was relatively cheap. I guess the tariffs didn't really matter that much because all this stuff was relatively cheap.
Well, also a bunch of stuff is already sitting in warehouses.
So I basically made, like, you can see the back here, I made basically virtual windows for my work. So now we have these like virtual windows, which is a very long conversation. I also took some of my model kits because we bought some cheap like frames from
Display blocks, Daiso.
Daiso.
It's like a Japanese dollar store.
So I brought some of my model kits from home to work to kind of look at, which was cool. Thanksgiving, we got a little Thanksgiving tree. What did we even do for Thanksgiving? You went to your parents, I stayed home?
Typical. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's all there. We then also have Christmas time. There's the Christmas tree again, as we always have our little mini tree up. In our neighborhood, we had noticed, this isn't our unit, but we had a huge bee's nest, which was kind of crazy that happened. And then they actually ended up relocating themselves. Like, they ended up leaving here, but you can kind of still see the honeycomb they had.
That's crazy.
And they moved to a different building. But luckily, they went on their way.
Well, we told the HOA about them, and they had somebody come and take care of them. Hopefully, they just moved them and didn't, like, kill them, but I don't know.
One of the big things we kind of got into in 2025 was Hassan Piker, which we mentioned before with our podcast of going to Bulwark and the Positive America people. We also, we're starting to get really more into Hassan Piker, and over the course of the year and even now, we find him to be our most reputable source of information. Mm-hmm. Or our most authentic source. And despite any controversies or anything you hear about him, I always just say, hey, actually listen to him, get the context, because if you don't, then I really don't. Like, if you're just believing everything everybody says.
You're just going to automatically believe everything that his ops say. Then, are you going to believe everything automatically that your ops say?
And then even if not, the things he stands up for and the policies that he is promoting and advocating for, like, if you don't even look into that aspect of his ideology, then, like, yeah, it's just, I can't really think that highly of you if you're automatically
not able to.
And if that's a red line for some people, that's a red line for some people, but it's just very interesting to think of how much disinformation or how much just blind, like, if you think one side's blind to stuff and you're blind to anything you hear about him, then you are then also being blind. Just as much. You also got into the I've Had It podcast.
Oh my god! I love Jennifer and Angie.
Like, upon reflection, a lot of people are like, oh, these are kind of more right-wing type of conservative Republican people. It's like, no, they are, like, very left-wing, very progressive, very...
Extremely, yeah. They're awesome. I love them. If you really want a cathartic listen, but still want to be informed about politics, don't go listen to the I've Had It podcast by them. Go listen to, what's their daily thing called?
Anywho, you look into it. Nonetheless, they are very, very good ladies. And just like Hassan Piker, their policies and agenda, if you look at what they're advocating for, of the middle class and the working class, that is really what is going to be going on.
It's the moderate. They have the moderate popular positions on things.
We're going to go over some of the projects that Rose went on. Of course, there's you using that cool neck fan that isn't just a regular neck fan. It actually has those cooling plates, which a lot of people I've gone back and forth on. Like, no, it makes a huge difference.
iHypNews. That is their other podcast. If you want a very cathartic listen but want to stay updated on politics, and you're a leftist, listen to iHypNews. It is excellent, and Jennifer just goes off like you would want to go off. It's just, I love those ladies so much.
Through those projects, you worked on a lot of resin projects, constantly upgrading, trying different techniques, trying different things. Of course, is Kai.
That's my puppy supervisor.
We also did some
lapidary work.
Yeah, stone polishing and all that type of stuff, and then also like the insetting of it, and the wire wrapping, and then some of the soldering.
I did some soft soldering. I think it's called the Tiffany method. It's not the same solder you would use for electronics because you want completely lead free. Because jewelry touches your skin.
You also touched up your family's little crest thing they had on their house.
That's not a touch-up. That's a full restore.
Full restore.
I fully restored.
You also did some more canvas work. And then you also did some of the journaling, like making the cool textured like journals and stuff.
Journal covers.
And the cool thing is, this year you really did, or in 2025, you basically started selling more at the Book Rescuers, which is a local place just down the road.
Bookstore.
It's a used bookstore, and they like
promote. They have a whole section and support local artists. It's really awesome.
Which is just really cool, and you've sold a decent amount of stuff there over the years.
And
you have a good rapport with the owner.
Continue to. Yeah, the owners are super cool.
And then here we're going to go over some Kai pics. So here is Kai being a swamp puppy. Luckily, we have this nice little duck pond, so whenever it rains, we get a bunch of water there, and ducks show up. And sometimes if we're never going to give Kai a bath, we'll let her go run around in the swamp. Here's her helping me the days that I was working on the doors, the window, the display windows.
She's, even if a task requires 0 dog, she is there supervising.
Here's her when I made my game reviews, the Kingdom Come Deliverance big like lockbox thing. She was there when I got that.
And then I made butterfly wings for her costume for Halloween, and everybody loved it. They thought she was super cute.
Because we did give candy out at Halloween. Even though, yes, our neighborhood, we don't get that many people. The idea of...
We gave out more dog treats than we did candy.
I was like, this time around, can we give out dog treats? Because we had Kai roaming around and people would walk their dogs. We're like, oh, hey, did your dog want treats? And we give away more dog treats.
Yeah, I 100% want to do that again this year. Because, like, everybody really liked it. And all the doggies are super happy.
Yeah, they were like, hey, this is cute.
It was super cute. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was our life events. Trying to think what else really kind of went on. Not too much. And who knows? 2026 is going to be even more very, very interesting to see what goes on. But we like to, as always, thank everybody for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you next time.